Good morning, ma'am. Shall we start the session, ma'am? You're not audible, madam.
Yes, please start.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello. Very good morning and warm welcome to all the guests and officers for this webinar on generic online training course in cybersecurity for government officials. This is a program by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MeitY, Government of India, and implemented by CDAC Hyderabad. It is a pleasure to welcome today's guest, Shri Sanjay Kumar Vyas sir, Officer and Special Duty and Scientist E HRD Division, Srimati Tulika Pandey Madam, Scientist F Cyber Security Division, Srimati Savita Uttaraja Madam, Scientist in Cyber Security Division, Shri Ranjan Kumar Sir, Joint Director CDAC Cyber Security Division, Shri S. Surendra Singh Sir, Scientist D HRD Division, Shri CHAS Murthy Sir, Associate Director CDAC Hyderabad, for your gracious presence for this program. We welcome all the officers and senior government officials for this program. I now request Srimati Savita Uttaraja Madam to address the gathering.
Good morning, all. I would like to welcome all the participants to this generic online training course on cybersecurity. This program has been organized by Ministry of Electronics and IT with implementing agency CDAC Hyderabad. And this is in line with the PM's mandate that every government official in ministry should be aware about what are the cybersecurity threats, how to handle them. And this first one, this webinar is focused on generic online training course and to sensitize all the government officials about any cybersecurity issues. This is a 4-hour webinar course. We have 10:30 to 12:30 and then 2:30 to 4:30 for this webinar. And we will be covering the topics related to the password security, email security, mobile app security, or the social media security, secured financial transactions. So I feel that it will be a useful session for all of you, and you will be able to understand the problems which we are facing in day-to-day life. And there will be also a self-paced learning module of 2 hours, which will be covering the cyber hygiene, that what best practices we should be following at our level and also for our family members. It can be instructions or the guidelines which can be used for them. So I hope that this will be a great webinar for you. And further, if you want to appear for the quizzes, then you can appear for those quizzes. But for that, you have to first complete the cyber hygiene course. Once you complete that, you can participate in the quiz. And if you are successful and you are able to get 50% of the marking in that, there will be about 20 questions in that quiz. So then you will be awarded a certificate of completion. And when you are attending this webinar, you will be given the certificate of participation. You will be given the link on which you can register, you can click on that, and then you can get a certificate of participation. So I welcome you all. And now I would request to begin with this webinar session. I would request Mr. Murthy to say something about the course. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, before we start our session, I would like to render a vote of thanks. On behalf of Cyber Security and HR Division, we thank on the outset Shri Sanjay Kumar Sir, Tulika Pandey Madam, Savita Uttaraja Madam, Ranjan Kumar sir, S. Surendra Singh sir, and Sri H.A.S. Murthy sir for accepting our invitation and supporting us for organizing this program in spite of their busy schedule. And we thank all the participants for joining the session in time and request to extend your support for smooth organization of this session. Without any delay, we will start the session. I now request Sri C.H.A.S. Murthy sir to start the first session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Savita Utreja, Madam, as she is one of the person who created this program for creating a kind of an awareness among all government officials. It's not exactly awareness; it's like it's a kind of a 4-hour course which we are planning to give it to you in such a way that you can start your career in cybersecurity itself. So this is like a first step, as we are using number of devices, cyber devices such as computers, mobiles, laptops, etc. So we are part of our everyday life is part of cyber world. So while we are part of this cyber world, we need to take care of some of the things as part of the security, if safety, and what exactly we need to be uh, how we take our health with respect to the hygiene. So we need to also follow some kind of cyber hygiene. So not only for that, as we being all government officials, as we need to have some kind of thin line difference between with respect to individual and official information. So this is what my talk. I request coordinator should give permission to be present my PPT. Hello.
Yes, sir. Are you able to?
Yeah. Thank you. Uh, So welcome to generic online cybersecurity training. As this is one of the first training which I wanted to discuss some kind of an internet fundamentals before we go it. Why? Because that until we know some kind of fundamentals, it would be very difficult to have understanding about various cybersecurity things. That's what I would like to discuss first session in internet fundamentals, where whenever coming to internet fundamentals, we need to understand about addressing. Why addressing is required? Let's say when we are sending a letter, an inland letter to any place, so what is the exactly we required? Maybe we required first one is PIN number. So what is the PIN? It's like we may say no, Hyderabad, New Delhi 110001. Let's take example of MeitY at CGO complex. So what is the address? Is basically we major postal things would be depend on addressing system. So this is where we look into that 110034. So if you look at the 11, the one is province or state. So here it is not specific state what we have number of states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Delhi and all. It's like in a combination of 2 or 3 states also. So if let's say that's what we call it as a province. So then it's a sorting and forwarding center address would be there, 0. That let us, whenever reach it to one part, how they will sort it, and that number where that exactly the center is located, that number would be, so this particular 0. So like 034 major town group of post office delivery time. So the PIN number, PIN address is having some kind of an information itself, like we can define state, sorting and forwarding center, major town, etc. Internet also, when we are sending in a WhatsApp message, when you are sending in an email or any communication, so it's depend on addressing system. So let's we understand that what is exactly an address system. So basically, this is where another way 456001. So this is some part of Maharashtra, some part of even though Madhya Pradesh, some part of Karnataka also would be there, this 4-zone, sub-zone, starting district and post office. So now coming to that internet addressing, there are two addressings are required. So any communication you take from anywhere to anywhere in cyber world, so that required an addressing system, and most of the people knows about IP addressing system. But there is another addressing system is also available, where that addressing system is nothing but MAC addressing, which is also called hardware address, which is also called physical address. Why it is called a physical address? When you are part of your computer is connected to network through network interface card. Am I right? That network interface card itself as a first step to communicate from your computer to any other computer. So NIC card, that address which is embedded into NIC card, so that is NIC card is itself hardware, that is what we call hardware address, and it is physically connected to your computer, so that it is a physical address. But logically, what we say software based in terms, it is called media access control address. That is where it is also called as a MAC address. So there is no confusion. If somebody is asking you that what is physical address, then immediately we ask that what is your hardware address, and maybe they may ask even the physical address. Physical, hardware, or MAC, anything is same address, which is generally 48-bit. You may please remember this is a 48-bit address. So if you know that bit, byte and all, which would be useful. But anyway, for the sake of just now, you remember this is a MAC address is 48-bit address, and it is unique in the world. And that means you take this address from anywhere, any computer, this MAC address that is unique to any other computer. So that is where we can easily identify the addressing of that particular computer and can access and deliver or any communication you can do itself. Whether you take your mobile, this MAC address is there. If your mobile is having two interfaces, one is Wi-Fi, your computer is having two interfaces, one is Wi-Fi card and one physical network card, both are having two different MAC addresses. So, but what is the limitation of this MAC address is that they can talk each other in only one network, like a small network, which is called a local area network. And also it is called as a peer-to-peer network. That means, so basically they only talk to whomever very near to or next to them. So that is where their limitation, they cannot talk, they cannot route packets other computer. So for that you required various devices like routers and all. For that communication you required IP address. So your internet is also like from your mobile, it may connect to your local Wi-Fi device or your broadband router from your mobile to or your computer to at home, your broadband router, or at office a switch, and switch to again gateway to internet. So it is having number of devices in between to connect a server in your internet, to access an email server. So then this MAC address never works, because MAC address is point to point, side by side, are limited to only within that local area network, which are all systems are connected to one switch. The switch and your computer only can talk. But from switch, your data should travel to other machines via through various routers, gateways, and reach to an internet machine. You required IP addressing. We also called it as a logical addressing. The postal department, whatever that PIN number they uses, so this IP address is also similar kind of only. So this is a generally 32. It's not. It's a 32-bit address. So in this 32-bit address, they also defined some bits are for network, some bits for host. So what does mean actually that some bits of network is same for each and every computer in the same network. So that means the network address is same 192.168.1. is same in every computer in your network, and 1, 2, 3 only changes. Okay, this is where you just remind there are two IP addressing systems are required. The first one is MAC address, that is a 48-bit. It is also called physical address and hardware address. Where IP address, where whenever you wanted to talk to in internet, you required this IP address. Basically, this is 32-bit and it is a logical address. Now coming to this picture, so suppose you are in a finance department. So if you wanted to access any computer in other network or within the network, you should connect to either one of the device like a switch, hub. So when you are sending a communication, this will reach to hub, and hub will look about where exactly you are planning to send. That particular computer is available in the same network or not, it checks. If it is that doesn't know about that IP address, if it forward to exactly to that machine, generally hub will forward to each and every member whoever connected to that. Let's say example, if this guy is sending an information to somewhere here, this hub doesn't know about that this guy is staying in another network. What it exactly it sends? It sends to this computer, even though it sends finance server, and further it forwards here also. So here firewall is there, but firewall definitely understand what is this side network and what is this side network, so that it forwards to here only. But however, if it is not switch, again hub, so it forwards to all members. But this is hub only. Hub is doesn't know anything like an intelligent. It's not an intelligent devices. Whatever the things are coming to me, simply I forward whomever I connected. So that is where this generally works. Of course, this we will discuss in the next slide. So if this guy wanted to access network, so this will be forward to switch. So here there is an internal firewall to segregate these two networks such that this finance person cannot talk to production person cannot talk to, until they have some kind of rule in the firewall. To establish rules, control the communication, firewall would be useful. And it forwards to gateway firewall. That means if anything you are planning to access from your organization to internet, it also should go to the gateway firewall. Maybe while you are configuring your IP addresses, you might have seen gateway address. So your packets should reach to gateway and further forward to the internet and access your Google server. And if anybody from public internet client is coming through internet and access your web server, you will come to your gateway firewall, and the gateway firewall knows that your request is only for the web server. It forwards to DMZ switch, demilitarized zone, where your all web servers are there, publicly hosted servers. So this is a public request, and we let him go access and public servers and go back. So he cannot access any kind of internal computer. So that is where the firewall is useful to control the communication, whoever coming from the outside to access your resources. So it is the general architecture of anywhere, whether you take it a small network, even though you take your home network, the same principle will be going on. Same architecture will go on. So basically, so, well, coming back to the MAC address is used to ensure the physical address of computer. It is uniquely identifies the devices on your network. So, if it is a part of one network, and it try to understand what are those all unique addresses, so that they communicate each other by themselves only. But when you are going out of network, this physical network may not work. Physical addressing, MAC addressing may not work. So this is the look like, the address is look like this. So 0000 is not generally 00. This why I represented here is that the representation of this number. Let's say this is the hexadecimal number. Hexadecimals means 0 to 9 and A, B, C, D, E, F. There are 16 digit numbers 0 to 15. But however, from 10 onwards, it is represented as A, B, C, D, E, F. So it's not a bit, it's not a decimal note, it is an hexadecimal note. So decimal note, generally we use numbers 0 to 10, 0 to 9. So, but hexadecimal 0 to 9 plus A, B, C, D, E, F. So 16 bit this one. So this first one digit, let's say in this part, is in a 4 bits. And that means if you are making two numbers together is 1 byte 8 bits. So how many 8 bits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 into 8 bits. So 48 bit is available here. So the first 3 octets, octet is nothing but an 8 bit. So this first octet is represented by the OUI, the organization's unique identifying number. This one. That means if Cisco's network card you take it, any Cisco card you take it, this is the same for all Cisco card. Or if you are taking Compex, that there will be another number which is same for all Compaq cards. But this remaining 24 bit changes the number so that representing unique of that particular network card wherever you see that. Every device connected to your home network has unique address, whether it could be a Wi-Fi, whether it could be a router, whether it could be a computer or mobile. So every device is having a unique number so that you can easily recognize your device. If, as I said, if your computer has multiple network cards, each adapter has its own MAC address. So now we look about how does internet work. So a lot of people think it is a cloud. Am I right? That's also correct because so anything I wanted to access, just type www.google.com and whatever thing I'm giving and it is coming. So maybe so it's like the cloud term is becoming as popular as much as internet is also called as, and if you look into the representation of internet also, they represented through clouds only. So that everybody feel like a lot of people think it is as a cloud, especially first internet users, first time when they access internet is nothing but cloud. Partially we agree with that, but internet is not only cloud, they are all connected devices, physically connected with the lines. Let's say if you take example, if you are accessing a kind of a website, so what is exactly, let's say www infosec awareness you are typing in your computer, so that maybe you are using as a BSNL network or some physical network, or in your office you may be connected. So there is a line, backend line would be there. That is majorly every office is having Ethernet protocol. They use it every office, like 10 base T, 10 base 2, based on that whatever that requirements that they will establish in a backend line, where that backend line is connected to switch to connect other devices. So let's say this is InfoSec awareness, you typed it, but what is exactly happening here? It goes to this request to basically into internet. But remember that internet doesn't understand if somebody is typing www.cdac.in, MeitY.gov.in, InfoSecAwareness.in. Any communication they can only understand through IP addresses or MAC address. If two computers talking each other as a peer-to-peer devices and as part of LAN, they required basically is a MAC address. If that is, if further they wanted to route packets and they get access in different networks, you required IP address. Without that, your packets cannot travel. So this InfoSecAwareness.in having a MAC address, sorry, IP address, so where that you should find it out first. So this will go to a particular DNS server and it gets the IP address. Generally, these are particular server localhost, local server. If you are hosting DNS server, where itself you can get it. or otherwise by the time if somebody is accessed the same web page from cache also, you can get an IP address. Otherwise, if somebody hosted in a freshly in a website, so you may not have that cache record. So it will go to the local ISP. There DNS server it requests. DNS is nothing but domain name server. Basically, it is requesting, I wanted to access the www.infosecawareness.in website. What would be the IP address? Then DNS server shares the IP address. From that, it will go to that IP address wherever and through routing and all, as we shown in the previous picture, it go to through various routers, switches, and access that particular server and will get in a page. So this is what happens. So here the point is that so computers doesn't understand, the cyber devices doesn't understand any kind of an information such as domain names like www.cdac.in, www.infosec-awareness. It only understands about IP address or MAC address. But when you wanted to access from different network, you required IP address. For getting that IP address, that servers by themselves, they will go to the nearest DNS server and get the IP address in case if they don't have. So with that, they will reach the right server and get the information from the website. So this way internet works with address. And you may be having some doubt that how they are connected. See, my server is in US, I'm in India. How they are physically connected? So we all think that internet is cloud, it would be there, Wi-Fi, like Wi-Fi, it will access the data. But if you see that anyway, I'm not talking about here land. In land, India, there is a kind of connectivity I'm not talking about. But however, these are cable, submarine cable. You can have access. You just type submarine cable map.com website. If you go that, how you will connected. Recently, our Prime Minister was started during Independence Day from between Andaman and here the cable between that submarine cable. It is a used cable and connected across the globe. So you can see that North Atlantic Ocean, then South Atlantic Ocean, and you also can see that Pacific Ocean, how they are connected with the Asian countries and North America and South America. And if you look into that, India, how many points India, Malay, Andaman, Sri Lanka, and other countries, Bangladesh and other countries. So it is everywhere connected. That whatever the packets you are requested for, excuse me, www.infosec awareness, these packets travel across wherever the server is there. If you are connecting a server in US, these packets will travel the way like this or any different format based on the best path they will travel it, which we'll try to discuss those things also. So basically the IP address is nothing but, and maybe you always look into that your IP address is like 196.1.1091. This is CDAC address. So whenever you wanted to somebody access from host 1, so there are number of devices are connected, links you have seen in the previous slide, and these all works on TCP/IP protocol system. TCP protocol is having these many layers: application, transport, network, link, physical, where whenever you are using like HTTP protocol, FTP protocol, SMTP, Telnet, all are applications, because this is web you are accessing, file transfer, this protocol, SMTP is the mail transfer, Telnet to connect the terminal and access your terminal access. All are these applications where application layers are there. For this application to run in transport, TCP, UDP protocols are required. And of course, IP layer, your IP addressing system works. And your PPP, Ethernet, and your addressing system, local area network will work on second layer. Of course, physical layer is nothing but zeros, ones, zeros, it will go that. So the packets can travel here like this. The packets can travel like this also. Packets can travel from here to here also across. They can use And even though when you are sending information from one system to the destination, packets are maybe many because your packet size is only 1500 bytes. Let's say if you are sending in a 1 GB video file, so it will be divided into as many as 1500 packets. Based on that, either client, whichever the minimum size of packets, generally Ethernet uses 1500 bytes. So they divide into as many as packets. And there is no guarantee that these packets will travel in sequence. Some packets can travel in some route, some packets can travel in another route. So that is where the packets will be given. But ultimately, the destination should reach all packets so that you can see the entire page. So this is the classful IP addressing, which I'm not discussing much. You should learn all these things. But however, I only give some kind of notation here. As we discussed, this is the 32 bits, which we are talking about IP version 4 address. The 32 bits would be divided into 4 octets. Each octet is having 8 bits. And this is represented by dotted notation because your IP address, 192.168. 168 1.1. So this represents as 192 168 109.1. So that is where the representation would be in the ones and zeros because computers only can understand zeros ones. Computers only can address IP addressing where in the format of binary only. Binary means is nothing but binary notation is having only the 2 digits 0 1. And when we collect the packet, it could be an hexadecimal where we talked about. So, but however, this data always in physical layer, it travels in the binary form. So that is what the representation of this IP address in the form of this one. So this like if you take it to 2 power 0 because 1 is there, so 1. Similarly, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, it is 16. 16 plus 1 and 2 power 7, 128. 128 plus 16 plus 1, maybe 145. Here is also look into that. All zeros except 2 ones are there. This is 2 power 0, remove it, but 2 power 1 is 2, 2 power 2 0, 2 power 3 8. 8 plus 2, 10. Because the remaining are all zeros. This is where we can be converted into decimal system from binary. And this was divided into 5 classes. IP addressing is divided into 5 classes: class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. And class B starts from leading bits are 0 because whenever sometimes if somebody is given in the form of bits 0 1, so the first octets it starts always 0, that is called A class. And the first octet starts with 1 and 0, that is class B. First octet starts with 1 1 0, class C. First octet starts with 1 1 1 1 0, that is 1110, class D. And class C starts with all 4 ones, is the class E. At this moment, class D and class C is not defined using for the research. Majorly, we look using class A, class B, class C address, and it starts with the 0 to 127 or exactly 126 is the class A. And if first octet falls between 0 and 127 is the class A address. 128 to 191 class B address. 192 to 223 class C address. And 224 to 239 class D. 242 to 255 because maximum is 255. If somebody is saying an IP address as a 256.256, it is entirely wrong because the 8 bits 2 power 0 plus 2 power 1 plus 2 power 2 plus so on 2 power 7 is maximum is 255. Generally, we call that 0 to 255, only the 256 numbers only will come. Okay, so this is also point you remember it. If somebody says that what is the wrong with this IP address, that all octets should lie between 0 to 255. Okay, this is what how do we recognize classes? If the first octet falls between 0 to 127 or first bit is 0 is the class A. 128 to 191 or first 2 bits are 10 class B, and 110 and which lies between 192 to 223 is class C. So this is very important to remember while you are going for a review exam. So if you look into that, the maximum following addresses are 2 power 32. How many bits are there? 32. So bits either 0, 1. So that maximum you are having 2 power 32 IP addresses in this entire network. And if you consider each and every computer is required internet public IP address required. So these are the computers only connect to access internet. But if you look into that, all computers in India itself, you look into that. So there are as many as people are using, the mobiles are itself using like more than 40 crore. And even the computers and all, maybe it's not sufficient for only like India and Indian subcontinents itself. But across globe, you wanted to connect. So these IP addresses are not sufficient. That's what they introduced. There are two IP addressing systems. One is public IP addresses and private IP addresses. Public IP addresses means basically which you can use it for the connect to the internet. But when it is the private IP addresses, see in an organization, 1,000 machines are there. All 1,000 machines are not required internet. So even though they're required, because they are all part of one organization, they can use one public IP to access to internet. That is where you can keep this public IP at gateway level so that everybody can connect at gateway level. And whether maybe remember to connect internet, you have to give the specifically one address in your browser. That is nothing but a gateway address. If you go there, it will be forwarding your request to the access internet. And when it comes and it delivers again to you to access internet. So like this, they were able to manage these addresses, reducing as many as public addresses and increasing as private IP addresses. That is where 10.0.0.0 network as a private IP address, they made it so that A class companies, that means whomever use computing, 2 power 24 clients are required in one network. Such companies can be used A class network, and B class network is like a medium sized organization. Those who are having 2 power 24 clients, they can use for the B class address, which is nothing but 172.16.0202 172.31 addresses can be used, where 192.168.1. network that could be as in a private IP addressing for C class network, where you can connect only 255 machines, because one octet is only host address. So these are the some special cases. 000 is the default route used for only during setup or startup. Anytime when you connect, you wanted to host each and everywhere of that particular network. So you can connect 0.0.0. It's a default route. It will go to automatically. So 127.0.0 is loopback, which is used for the different purpose. That means testing of local loop and TCP/IP connectivities. So host all zeros is this host all ones is broadcast. So if I'm sending a message to all ones, 258.250, 258.255, whomever part of that network, they will receive a message. But host is basically 0000, this one. So there are limitation of the classful addressing, which we discussed. Subnetting is a kind of that. See further, in a network, 255 computers are there with you. Am I right? But actually, you have only 10 machines only. Like 192.168.1.12, 192.168.1.10 machines are there. When anybody is sending a message .12.10, it will deliver to each and every members, and it also planning to, and whenever you are sending broadcast message, it also sends 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 up to 255. Until somebody accepts that packets will go and go and go on in the network congestion would be created. So that to avoid that network congestion, subnetting is useful. So that whatever that 255 hosts, you can divide into two networks like 128, 128, Otherwise, 4 networks, 4 subnets, 64, 64, 64. Otherwise, further 8 into 32s, 8 subnets into 32 center computers. Further, you can 16 into 16. So when you have a 10 computers, you can make 16 subnet. So to control this communication, that is where subnetting would be useful. And maybe this is not scope up, but only for understanding purpose only I'm explaining. And subnetting would be useful there to control your communication, and security wise also it is very important. So those are the IP address fundamentals. So now coming to that, you are accessing information from either through Wi-Fi at your home, and maybe you are sharing that with your family members through WhatsApp messages by connecting the same Wi-Fi, or sending an email, or sharing the movies. Such things are happening. And you also may be connecting in your office a switch. Even at home also you might have a switch. Your router, broadband router, may be having switch, and other people are also, other colleagues are connected to same switch, like they were accessing. When they wanted to connect internet, they have their access from your Wi-Fi access point to broadband router, or in office maybe you are connecting to the gateway router, and through network they were connecting to this internet. However, in office they may be using a firewall to control the communication. At least the external threats could be stopped by implementing this firewall. We also suggest that you also implement this firewall. Most of broadband routers are already having these firewall capabilities at your home, so that you can control the communication. So one way, if any anonymous user trying to access your broadband router and killing your and by downloading so many files, by connecting your Wi-Fi router, if you are keeping a simple password, and you may be using entire bandwidth what you have. So that can be reduced if you are enabling these firewall options. And why I explained about MAC addresses, the 10 members, whomever part of your home, 4 members or 5 members or 5 device, each member is having 2 devices. So they are also having MAC addresses. All MAC addresses can be given at your broadband router, so that are your access point, so that these 10 members only can connect to that. That itself is enough to whatever the bandwidth properly using, and controlling your communication with other anonymous users. Similarly, in our organization also, this firewall would be connected and try to save that. But one thing you remember it, these are only depend on the rules. They will write that rules, external threats could be stopped, internal threats could be stopped, like that. But if they allow some kind of a facility from your organization to access web page, but if you are accessing non-related information, would be is not what you can say that it's not an ethic. They were giving a kind of information, the computers, connected internet computers, to access your computer, access details with respect to your work from 9 to 6. But instead of that, I'm downloading a movie, and I'm watching a kind of a serial. Is it the right way? That is only giving to you itself. Otherwise, you need to understand that the layer 1 devices, layer 2 devices, layer 3 devices, 4 devices. So when you are connecting a normal hub repeater of this particular, then layer 1 devices, here we discussed that there are 5 layers are there. Of course, we will discuss in the next session. But this is the Wi-Fi router, which comes under routers layer 3 device. Hub or switch, either layer 1, layer 2 devices. Router gateway is kind of in a layer 4 device capabilities, and it would be connected to the internet. So this is where whatever we discussed in previous architecture, same architecture I am keeping once more in different way. Otherwise, always, if you see that your local area network would be connected to a router, and this WAN IP would be connected. If you're taking example of your home connectivity, your devices like iPad, iPhone, and iMac, or Windows PC or Dell PC, whatever that, or connected to your LAN, and that would be connected to your router, which is having that. These are all part of LAN IP addresses, which we discuss in private IP addresses. All private IP addresses would be this side, and when you are planning to connect, they will use the public IP, where your ISP will provide it to your router, your gateway router or broadband router, where from there you can access the public IP. So from here it is called internet base. What I mean is that the router is at your home, which you established, is not, you are the only owner. Even ISP is also owner. Similarly, this is what the extended number of devices are there. We are connecting to same. Of course, here 1.2, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 representation is not given properly. So this was different. Each user, they may give it static IP WAN, static WAN. When you have a different, you may be getting a doubt in such a way that suppose, let's say, in your area, your home is 1, home 2, home 3, and for all 3 homes, only BSNL only you are given. So all 3 homes, in each and every home, you can use your own IP address, like 101, 102, 103, and that second home also can use 101, 102, 103. Third home also can use 101. Same private IP addresses, they can use it. They're connecting different router, their home router, and you are connecting your home router, and your friend home, he is connecting his home router. But BSNL, same BSNL giving a different public IPs to access internet, and they will be connected to the internet address. So that is where we are. The IP private IPs are allocating different users, and using public IPs are very much less. Public IPs for all these 10 devices, only one public IP I'm using. For all these 10 devices, at your friend's home or your home would be using this only public IP address. This is where the depletion of public IP, the IP version 4 addresses would be solved. So once if you are sending in a mail, let's say example of this, you take example, you are sending an example email client, you are opening an email client and using some POP3, something like you are sending an email, and that email server is keeping this data and forwarding routers, various routers, and delivering other email server, so that other email person is getting this mail. In reverse, same thing it will happen. This is what email communication. Like this is called a LAN, and when it is connected to router, it becomes WAN, wide area network. And this would be these are the OS layers. It will work on various OS layers, where let's say you are opening in a web or email application. What exactly you are looking into, web application and email application, that is where called application layer. Let's example, you are opening an email application, then you are presenting your email into different ways. In the text mode, encryption, you may be encrypting your information and trying to forward. Then you may be encoding, or you may be keeping like in a JPEG file. Like all these things can be done. That is part of presentation, how you are presenting your email. Then once you click send, it would be established a session between your server and your client. That is what session layer will take care of. And transport layer will look about that, the connectivity between your email server and further your email server to other side email server and other client. And you know that these both systems are away from globally located in different places. So they should be connected into different paths, different routers are there. Network would be always selecting the best path to deliver the packets. And the data link layer, maybe you are using one type of media, Wi-Fi communication, other side using a different media. But however, this data link layer will take care of media access control and logically deliver the packets. Physical layer, you know that in the wires, whatever the data, ones and zeros will travel across the globe to deliver the packets to end systems. So basically, this OSI TCP IP, people basically, if you are comparing with that, that 7 layers are becoming is 4 layers, sometimes 5 layers. This data link layer and physical layer would be separate further, so that some people will call it as in a 2 layers. So if you look into that, the devices like hubs, repeaters will work on only layer 1 devices. And as you know that this layer is only the traveling with ones and zeros. This device doesn't have any intelligence. Layer 2 devices are called bridges and switches, where bridges and switches are having understanding of MAC address so that they can filter it. Layer 3 addresses can understand at IP addressing, so that IP addressing, IP filtering firewalls would be layer 3 devices. Layer 4 devices like proxy, gateways, application servers would come under layer 4 devices. So this protocol set like that, it would be there. Anything you are using HTTPS or HTTP, that is application, that forwards to TCP. In case if you are using a video is like a real-time protocol RTP, that would be using UDP, and that TCP would be forward to Internet Protocol ICMP, and or otherwise IP protocol. Then ARP like physical layer, the data one side it will forward down mode, and when you receiving, it is coming that from lower layer to upper layer. So this is where the data would be traveled, and there would be header would be added each and every layer and forward to, and physical layer where packets will travel from one system to another system. When you receive physical layer to application layer, generally you will receive it. So, and remember it, when the data is which is here you are looking like a message, email message is called data, and when it is going the part of application, it is called a data message. But when the data is there in the transport layer, it is called as a segment, and when data is there in the network layer, it's called packet, and when data is in the second layer, that is called as a frame. So if somebody says message, data, segment, packet, frame, they are all same. Only based on their position, where exactly they located while traveling from your system to network, the names maybe are different. That's why I remember it. Application layer is data or message, transport layer is segment, IP layer is packet, and data link layer is frame. And as I discussed it, the packets will come, incoming frame will come into the Ethernet driver, and it look about the ARP, RARP, IP, and further if it is ICM packet like a ping packet, ICMP, or it is in an application, either TCP or if UDP, so that its application would be reached. So this is where demultiplication happens. And before I close it, this is we need to understand how client server communicates. With this, I'll try to close this, and you will understand how communication. See, you take any application, anywhere, whether it is a WhatsApp, whether it is email, whether it is a web page, any application in this cyber world, you take it. There is a protocol that should run in a three-way handshake. So whenever client you are using in a web browser is requesting in a server, web server, like www.cdac.in, MeitY.gov.in or gov.in, it won't get all the packets immediately. So there is a lot of transactions happens between you access the data from the server. See, when already we discussed it, whenever you are giving www.cdac.in, if that particular machine doesn't understand, because network, this, we discussed it about computers cannot understand www.cdac.in, what generally we human beings are talking and typing names. So that it should do a DNS query to get an IP address, DNS response, then it forwards the request to the ARP request. ARP is the address resolution protocol. Once DNS is over, whatever the IP address, which is a local IP address, so why should it send it to the gateway? It can directly talk to the local machine itself. So then it gets the ARP reply. If by the time, sometimes what is that when your system starts itself, you will get your own ARP, so that this just won't be there. This particular thing will be there. And then it does a TCP three-way handshake. TCP three-way handshake means So the client sends a request to synchronization packet to that I wanted to access your website. Then server should respond in second handshake, yes, this service is available with me. Then client send third handshake, thank you very much. I am now sending the request. These three handshakes should happen between client and server. Then only data would be transmitted. Of course, because of the speed, the way internet is there, this communication you may not see physically, yeah, until you collect the packets. So, but every communication, even though you are planning to send a WhatsApp message, the three-way handshake must. So this is also called legitimate handshake. Until this happens, we can't do that. Instead of that SYN packet, somebody sending as a first packet is a different packet. Generally, that is a kind of non-legitimate activity, and your IDS, intrusion detection system, will say that there is a wrong intrusion is happening. Then only HTTP request, web page will come, all are will be connecting. Like while initiation TCP three-way handshake, connection closing is four-way handshake. So all this DNS query, ARP request, three-way handshake within fraction of one by millionth second में होता है. So इसीलिए, so these handshakes we need to understand completed. So these are the layer bus devices security where repeaters is basically, as we discussed, it is layer 1. So whomever connected, suppose let's say if you are sending a message to one machine here, this message also forward to here also, because this layer 1 device doesn't understand, doesn't have any filtering mechanism. It doesn't not know where to send, so that whatever the package received from level first machine, it also will push it to the each and every machine which connected. Suppose if you are sending an I love you message to one of the machines, the other members also can see that I love you message. So this is the problem of security. So there is no filtering in these devices. Whenever you are connected to hub, so each and every message will go to each and every machine who are connected that particular hub, and they can see all messages. That is where that EAB switching technology came. This is called second layer 2 devices. In this situation, when A is sending a message to B, so that a pipe would be created between two, like in a telephone connection. When two people are engaged, you cannot send anything, you cannot connect to them. Similarly, you can, these two are engaged, but other two members can talk to each other. So the packets also never go that, packets also deliver to whomever they are connected, so that people only can receive the message. So that security could be further enhanced with respect to or with compared to these particular hub devices. Then routers. See, these two networks are only the LAN area network within the network of your organization. But when it is coming to the routers, the packets would be traveled from your organization to other organization. In those situations, you require the routers where we called third layer devices. And of course, if you are hosting web servers and you want to divide 2 or 3 networks as a separate for security implementation, you require a separate fourth layer devices like firewalls and all. So this is intranet where your all organization people connected. But some people wanted to access your web page. If you keep these web servers within this network, they may attack your computers after getting here, after understanding some vulnerabilities, attacking here, or silently they can come to your local machine and they can steal your information. That's what they are segregated as part of DMG. All web servers would be separated so that external user can come and go and access these things and go back, so that they never come to that. Even though you can post your own machines also should come to here, take permission and access your own email servers rather than directly connecting. Anything directly connecting, you are giving an access to those who are coming to here. That is where fourth layer devices usage. So as we discussed, this is the network. They divided with all computers, mobiles, whatever, with layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4 devices. and you required MAC addresses and IP addresses to communicate all these devices. So this is what basically your requirement for understanding going further to information security fundamentals. And when it is coming to fundamentals, if you have any time, so
Sir, maybe
5 minutes. Thank you. So just I'll discuss before closing. There are two fundamentals. Is basically it's in a layman language. So if you are delivering or if you are sending in a message, if it is delivered to your end user, whomever you intended, so that is what called the normal flow. Other than if somebody is interrupting your data from one, like somebody, your organization may be stopping and not delivering. Let's example, some of the websites are blocked at a firewall level. So whenever you are trying to access that packets, you are not getting anything. Like you are typing like a www.xxxs.com, so you won't get it because your firewall is interrupted. That data and dropped it. Understanding about you are going to the non-related website, they dropped it. Sometimes you will get a message that your own website will come in such a way that they designed and kept it. So such kind of situation which we called as an interruption. And if somebody is sending a message to you, like let's say you sent in a message, WhatsApp message, hi, but receiver received as an hello. That means in between somebody is modified your hi message to hello, so that the receiver always thinks that you have sent a message hello rather than hi. So this is called as a modification. In this case, interception case is generally the people are listening your communication between you and your friend. Whatever data you are sending, I love you, I hate you, that both are as listening a third party. Sometimes organizations collecting the data to understand what kind of communication, whether they be analysis or doing analysis or not, that is the secondary thing. So that I can intercept entire data like in a telephone tapping, which is the interception. Here, you might have seen number of emails like lottery emails or banks you are getting an email nowadays. That means somebody is third party fabricated like in a Bank of India mail and you are receiving as in a Bank of India email that to update the details. But if you look into the headers and all, that is not came from Bank of India. Somebody third party is created. So somebody is able to fabricate that message and deliver it to you. So this is one. And here is reputation. Reputation is basically when you are receiving a message, but you are denying that you are not received it, so that you repeat that kind of message again and again. Or other, you have sent a message, but you are denied that you have sent. So this is the problem which is happening here. So if it is interruption, so that means you are not able to access that page. That is against to availability principle. So that website is not available for you, even though you have an internet. If somebody is modifying the data and delivering, then there is no integrity in that. And somebody is able to see whatever you are sending the message to your friend, so there is no confidentiality. And somebody is able to forward a message on behalf of you. That means he can fabricate. He can fabricate it and he can treat like he can behave like you. That means no authenticity on that message. The reputation attack is non-reputation. So these are the confidentiality, integrity, availability, or the basic security principles or information assurance principles. That is where these three are very much required when you are going to a particular or you are making your devices secure. You need to maintain confidentiality, integrity, and availability. These three are together called as a CIA tried or information security principles. Of course, authenticity, authentication, authorization, accountancy, non-repetition are all supported principles for this CIA. So you have a number of doors, wireless, internet. So you are connecting broadband, etc., mobile. But at the same time, you are also opening all these things to attackers also. As being you are using cybersecurity devices, we are all need to protect them, understand them, because when we use mobile, we need to understand what is the mobile we are getting and what purposes. And if you wanted to play some particular thing and all, how to protect them. So understanding fundamentals of what exactly you have the devices, that is very important. So understanding their fundamentals, usage fundamentals, so that we can implement security very easily. So with this, I am stopping my thing. And if you have any questions, you can type on. You can type in
Yeah.
so that I can take up and close this.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. And of course, since we're talking of time, I will be asking only one question, sir. Is it possible to manipulate the MAC address, sir? Is it possible to manipulate the MAC address?
Is it possible to manipulate? Is in chat box?
Yes, sir.
Because we share the recording of the class after completion so that users can go through the same and okay, means of webinar. No. Where I'm not able to see in the chat box.
No, is it possible to manipulate the MAC address, sir?
So your voice is not coming properly, Mr. Jagdish. Can you type the same to, okay, this is all, okay. I'll check host and presenter. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Manipulate?
The MAC address.
Yeah, even the MAC address is physical address and unique to the computer. Temporarily, you can manipulate as a software-based manipulation can be done. That is possible. But however, when you restart that particular system, you get the original MAC address. Otherwise, the possibility of MAC spoofing is there. Somebody can, how you can do IP spoofing, MAC spoofing can be easily done. Even though from Windows machines itself, there is no requirement of any kind of tool. Otherwise, SMAC tool is there, that with that you can do the spoofing yourself. But however, because the monitoring is happening at each and every level now with respect to the organization security, suppose if you are sending this message from organization and spoofed it, that would be your switch, your gateway device can be recognized and the timestamps and all they can see that and how they're communicating and all, they can do this incident analysis and able to identify the systems.
All right, sir.
See, all these lectures we are updating into e-learning mode, and we are also giving the URLs for the e-learning access of 2 hours and along with these videos so that you can have, and we may be giving the participation certificate, and also we may conduct like in a post this one assessment certificate where we will get a cyber hygiene certificate also that would be intimated to you through emails and mobiles. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Jagdish.
Thank you so much, sir. And Neha, ma'am. Neha, madam, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, sir. I'm there.
Yes, I have given the privileges, ma'am. You can start the session, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So, very good morning. So, I'm Neha Bajpayee. So, I will be talking about the cyber security and privacy protection, the concepts, on data protection, email security, mobile security, browser security, and few of the concepts. Let me see my screen. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Able to see you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start with where the sir has actually left the conversation. We were talking about internet fundamentals, and we were seeing that there is a term known as cyber security, and in that cyber security, there were three fundamentals, principles, you can say, of internet. That is CIA tribe. Now, what actually it is, let's talk about that. So I think we all are aware of what actually cybersecurity is. Why we are studying this? Because it's an important concept where we can term it as a technologies, body of technologies, you can say processes and practices, which are basically being designed to protect the networks, devices, programs, and data from multiple types of attacks, theft, damage, modification, or maybe unauthorized access. Now, here there are three major goals of cybersecurity that already we have seen, where it is also being said as CIA triad, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. When we talk about confidentiality, it is basically the protection of personal information. Now, here we need to secure the information so that it should not be shared among the strangers, maybe among the co-workers, friends, and all. The second principle talks about integrity. Now, integrity basically refers to the methods of ensuring that the data which we are transferring should be, or we are accessing, should be real, accurate, and safeguarded from various unauthorized user modifications. So integrity has to be maintained. The third part is your availability, which refers to the ability of the user to basically access the informations or the resources in a proper format, in a proper specified location. It should not be non-available to all. So the availability has to be maintained. So these three CIA triad is basically a design model to guide the organizations to form their security policies. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about cybersecurity and all, on the other hand, we have few persons, or we can say few group of people who are actually performing the activities which are illegal, and they are basically using the computer network, or the network device to perform that. Now, they are actually finding out the software which has vulnerability into it, weaknesses into it, and then tries to exploit that. So here, when we talk about cybercrime, the major attack vector of cybercrime is to exploit the broken software, exploit the vulnerabilities or the weaknesses which are there in the software, and then try to misuse that. Whereas on the other hand, when we talk about cybersecurity professionals, they are actually trying to fix that broken software, fix those vulnerabilities so that it should not be misused. Now, there are three terminologies which generally we use. One is your vulnerability, second is threat, and third is risk. So what is the difference between these three? When we talk about vulnerability, this refers to the weaknesses of a particular asset which can be exploited by the attackers. When we talk about threat is basically anything that can exploit a vulnerability, maybe intentionally or accidentally, and this may lead to damage or destroy that particular asset. Now, it's basically the potential for the loss or the damage when a threat exploits a vulnerability. So we generally calculate the risk by multiplying your threat into vulnerability, and that becomes the risk. So this is how the cyber criminals are actually using or exploiting the broken software and then misusing that particular asset or the organization infrastructure. Now, this is one of the picture which I think most of you have seen it as well, where we are showing that in a particular minute of internet, there are so many data which is actually being circulating from one place to another. If we talk about Facebook, we have one Facebook, we have 3 million logging in. If we talk about YouTube, we have 4.7 million videos viewed and so many. So this is how the information is actually being transferring from one place to another or using internet. And there are multiple threads which are actually being there in common applications which we are using on our daily basis. We talk about online taxi applications like Uber, Ola and all, education applications, banking applications, shopping applications, and so many. So these are nothing but the common applications which we are using in our daily lives. And there are multiple threads by using these various applications if they are not secure or if there are any vulnerabilities present in these applications. And whatever online activities we are doing and we are not maintaining the privacy security settings, then again there are lot many things which intentionally or unintentionally we are actually distributing to the people, right? So there are multiple things which can be tracked by Google as well. So I think you might be aware of this particular part, that if we are using any of the browser and we are accessing any of the websites, now there is a possibility that the browser is actually maintaining the history. They are actually maintaining what all websites we have visited, what all videos we have watched, uploaded, how many locations we have visited, right? What all contacts or conversations we have, what are the upcoming plans, what all people and places we have tagged with, and lot many other things. So if we are actually not maintaining our privacy and security settings, then definitely our data is going to be leaked to someone. And that is what is actually being nowadays, people are unknowingly distributing the data. Now, there is a term which we generally call in cyber security, that is your digital footprinting. Now, what is this digital footprinting? Digital footprinting is basically when the information about a particular person that exists on the internet as a result of their online activity. So whatever they are doing online, the information with whatever they are circulating or providing is actually the digital footprint of the user. Now, there are two kinds of digital footprint. One is your passive and second is your active digital footprint. So if we are providing something on our own, or maybe we can get the details, the site is asking about our details, we are providing our details to them, and then it is getting spreading to other places. So whatever we are doing online, we have to be smart enough what all sites we have to visit, what all emails we have to open, what all links we have to click, where we have to share, what we have to share, and with whom we have to share. There are few things which we have to be very careful about. Then only we can say, yes, we are in a process to preserve our digital footprint. So preserving our digital footprint means that you have to be very careful about that what you are going to share online and where you are going to share it. So preserving, when we say you have to keep your personal information private, one thing, always try to use your privacy settings and always protect your privacy and data. Now, when I talk about protecting your privacy and data, then we are coming to one of the concepts known as data protection. Now, what actually data protection is? Now, data protection is basically being said as securing the data against the unauthorized. If I talk about in a very simple term, this is what can be defined as data protection. So data protection refers to the practices, safeguards, and binding the rules put in place to protect our personal information. Now, there are two terms here. One is data privacy and second is data protection. So data protection, as I told, is about securing the data against unauthorized access. Whereas data privacy is telling about the authorized access, that who has that access, who defines it, and all those things. So these are the two terminologies which we have to be careful about. So data protection, we have to take some steps to protect our data. data privacy is we are informing that who is going to be the authorized, who will be the authorized person to use my data. So who is going to use it? That again, we have to define it, and that is what comes under your data privacy. So data protection basically focusing on protecting the assets from unauthorized use. Whereas when we talk about data privacy, this defines who has the authorized access to do that, right? So this is how these two terminologies are being used. Now, if we are not able to protect our data, what is going to be the consequence of that? So consequences can be your financial loss, reputational damage, loss of sensitive data, and definitely identity theft. So if we are not able to protect our data, definitely we are going to have the number of consequences. And the last one is basically your biggest issue, which is involved with not protecting your personal data. And that is what is your identity theft. Now, what is identity theft? When I say identity theft, this actually happens when someone steals your personal information, or we may make it in such a manner that identity theft is something which being stolen by the attacker to commit the fraud, and that information is nothing but the information which defines you or which has the sensitive information. So sensitive information or personal information, if it is stolen by someone to commit the fraud, then that is being considered as your identity theft. Now, what that particular information may be, that information may be your passwords, your bank account information, your credit card numbers, lot many other information which may be on your computer, your mobile phones, and all those things. So if someone tries to take that information, try to use it for committing the fraud or misusing it, then that can be said as your identity theft. Now, for this, we have to have certain prevention mechanisms for that. We have to follow certain prevention mechanisms. What are those? Number one is that you have to safeguard your personal information. So always try to keep your personal information safe, right? It may be your credit card details, banking details, your sensitive information about yourself and all those things, right? If you are trying to purchase an item online, try to make sure that the site from where you are actually doing that online services or taking that online services, that should actually be secure. Always try to check whether it has HTTPS and all those things. So that maybe we can, if we get time, we'll be definitely discussing about that part also. Then we have protect your passwords. Now, generally, I have seen that people are using similar passwords. So try to use different passwords for all your banking accounts, your telephone accounts, your different online activities, what you are doing it. Don't be simply to on any of the paper or any of your file and all. We created debit card smart. Now, what does it mean? We created debit card smart. Carry only that personal information and credit cards which you actually need, and please make it separate the cards. One, your salaried card or salaried bank account card, or second is your online shopping card. So try to make it separate and always try to have lesser amount in your online shopping card. So if sometime it goes for some wrong activity or if someone tries to misuse it, definitely that loss should be less. Then destroy shred receipts which are not required. That again you have to be very careful about. Review your records regularly. Check your bank and credit card statements as soon as they arrive. If you find out any discrepancies, try to report it immediately. Be cautious with phishing links. Now, what is phishing? That maybe we'll be discussing in the next session, but here one thing which I will be talking about is whenever you are going to get any email, and in that email, if you're going to get any link, just don't click on that link. What you have to do, that we'll be discussing in this session itself. Monitor your online accounts and be careful with public Wi-Fi. So that again, we have to be careful about, because whenever we are going to use public Wi-Fi, this is again a convenient way to get access to the internet, but hackers are again very smart in that they are actually setting up their own free Wi-Fi networks and then try to use them to scrape your data, right? So even when we talk about legitimate Wi-Fi networks, that can also be hacked. And the hacker may eavesdrop whatever connection you are going to make, whatever data you are going to transfer from one place to another. So make sure that the network from which you are connected should be legitimate and should be trusted, right? Then only we can ensure, yes, there are few prevention which we are going to take it for uh, protecting ourselves from identity theft. Now we have the next part, your password. When I was talking about in prevention, that what passwords we have to take into consideration. So password security, before we go for the security preventions and all, let's see what various techniques is being used by the hackers to retrieve your passwords. Now, if you can see on the screen, it says that don't write passwords anywhere, don't give passwords anyone over phone, don't send passwords via email. That all we now we are aware of, and I think we all are doing that also. We are actually writing down our passwords on our mobile phones, maybe on the text notebooks and all, then we have to be very careful about, because there can be someone who can get an access to that particular file, to get an access to that particular notebook and can see that. Now, there are three techniques which are being mentioned here, which the hackers are trying to use it. One is shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing, if you are typing something and there is someone who is going to look into it and then get the passwords. Maybe the spy cameras and all can also be there. So if you are typing your password, maybe in an elevator, and there is no one near to the elevator near to you, then still there can be a spy camera which can just see what password you are having and what password you are typing. Dictionary attack is basically an attack where if you have a password which is a combination of certain characters which can be identified into the dictionary. So as a programmer, I will not take a time to make a program of 5 to 8 lines of code where I can open any online dictionary and simply check, put a loop onto it and can check the dictionary in minutes. And that particular dictionary, every word has to be checked with your password. So if that kind of password, if you are keeping it, again, with very easily we can simply exploit it or can get that password through dictionary attack. Then we have brute force attack, which is basically a combination of all the data which we are able to get it with the combination of characters, numbers, and all. It takes a little bit time, but it's not impossible. We can do that. Now, for keeping our password safe, there are a few things which we need to be very careful about. Number one is try to use a different password for each service. So whenever we are talking to the various officials and all, what they are telling that they have similar password for each kind of online account. But again, that is not correct. We should should use a different password for each service so that in case of loss or theft of any one of your passwords, only that particular service which is concerned with that password will be vulnerable. Otherwise, if you are keeping all the passwords similar, you will be able to, or your entire services are going to be compromised. This is one reason why we are saying that use a different password for each service. Use a long and complex password because again, we all know that a password must have at least 12 characters, which mixes upper and lower case letters, numbers, and special characters. So if that kind of thing you are putting it, then again, there is a less chance of hacking your password in a short period of time. Change password regularly. In every 30 days, at least you should change password. This is one of the practice which is being followed by everyone who wants that their password should not be hacked. Prefer random. When I say prefer random, that means your password should not have any special meaning. For example, your birthday, your nickname, your pet name, your logical sequence of numbers and letters. Because as I told, dictionary attack, if you are having a set of characters which has a particular meaning to it, maybe we can get it into the dictionary and very easily we can hack that or we can get that. So do not use your passwords on a shared computer. This is again one thing which we need to use it. And if you want to use it, try to always use the browsers, private browsing or incognito window kind of thing, because there is an option in each and every browser known as private browsing or incognito window. We'll be showing it to you while demonstrating few of the privacy settings where you can get that, and try to always use this kind of window which will not be saving any of your traces. Whatever you are doing, that will not be saved by these incognito window or private browsing. Then try to test your password once you create it. Now, how from where you can test it? To find out that if your password is strong or not, you can even use one of the website known as How Secure Is My Password. You can see that how long it would take for a computer to crack this particular password which you have created. And even you will get some personalized tips to make it more stronger. So that kind of feature you can use it and test your password before you finalize any of your banking or any of your online service password. The next is that always try to use a passphrase. Now, when I say passphrase, what does it mean? Passphrase is basically a sentence, a phrase which you are going to select it, and from that sentence you are going to make a password. Now, while making a password, the algorithm which you are going to take is going to be unique for you. Whatever algorithm you want to take, don't share with anyone. Now, from this passphrase, you may select as algorithm that I'm going to take the first, maybe your third letter of first word, and then maybe your second letter of second word, and similarly this kind of algorithm you can just generate, and based on that algorithm you can create a password. Even you can also add certain salting type of algorithm into it. When I say salt is nothing but making your password more strong. Salt is nothing but having a set of characters or numbers or special characters which can be embedded into this particular password. So again, that is being defined by you. Any of the salt you can just pick it up and then you can add it onto this password. Now you may add it in between, you may add it in the starting or at the end. Again, depends upon your algorithm what you are going to select. But the major objective of this passphrase is to make it strong so that it should not be hacked easily, but it should be easy to remember. So phrases, if you are going to put it, if you are going to make it, algorithm, if you are going to create it, it will be easy for you to remember, but definitely it will be very difficult to get. Now, there is one password safe tool as well, which is known as your KeePass password safe. Now, this KeePass password safe is basically one of the free open source password manager, which helps to manage the passwords in a secure manner. Now, this is a password manager tool for your Windows, and this is also available for other operating systems like Linux, Mac, Android, iOS, and other systems as well. Now, this password safe manager is actually divided into three groups. One is your online, second is local, and third is your mixed. Now, when I say online password manager, so this KeePass, when you are using this online group, it means that this KeePass will be using your cloud storage to sync the data. Very similar to your last pass, maybe you have heard about that. Then local password, when I'm saying, then this KeePass password safe is going to save the password on the local device, and this is by default it is going to save it and it will not put it onto the cloud. So again, if you want to save it at your local device, you can use that particular group that is local. Then mixed password manager basically support your both the features. That means it will give the user the choice, pick the most suitable option. So KeePass falls into the mixed category even though it stores its databases locally by default. So this is one of the good password safe manager tool, which is actually using the best and the most secure encryption algorithms like AES, 256, your two fish and all. Now to access this, we have keypass.info. To see the demonstration of the same, I have my colleague with me, Ms. Kajal Kashyap. So she will be showing you how KeyPass is going to be used, how it is going to be installed, and then how we are going to use this KeyPass for our personal use and to be stored locally. So I'm requesting Kajal to please share her screen and show how KeyPass is going to be used. Is Kajal there?
Yes, ma'am. Jagdish sir is there?
May I request kindly make Kajal as a presenter? I made you as a presenter.
Yeah, ma'am. Just a minute, ma'am. I'm sharing my screen. Yes. Good afternoon to all the participants who are present here. So, as you can see my screen, this is a password secure tool, that is your KeyPass password safe. All you have to do is go to the Google and just type this KeyPass password safe tool. And here you can see the first link, that is the KeyPass password safe. All you have to do is just click on this link. All right. When I click on this link, you can see various latest release of the software. So I am going to download the latest release, that is 2.46. So just click on this here. Once I click on this, you can see the download link, and it is showing you can get it from here. So when I click on this, it will give me a screen like this. So this is actually showing me installer for Windows, and I have to click on this one, that is download now. All right. So in this way, you can see that automatically it will going to start my download process. And here you can see that it is asking me to save the file. So I'll click on the save file. Here you can see my tool has already downloaded. Now I'll install it. I hope you will all can see the install for this software. So all we have to do is just click on this accept the agreement and click on next, and click on next, and again click on next, again click on next. If you want to create a desktop shortcut, you can just click on this option. Otherwise, you can just let it be and click on next and click on the install. All right. So click on the finish option. All right. Uh, I hope you all can see the screen of this application. So here, this application will open, right? And what we have to do is now we can easily store our passwords and our username and any sort of link, right? So for that, we have to click on this file option that you can see here. If you click on this file option, you will see these options. We have to click on the new one, right? So first we have to create a new database, right? So in that database, all our passwords and all our websites, whatever that we want to save, it will going to store in this database, right? So first we have to create this database, so we have to click on OK. And after that, it will be asking me that where in my machine I have to save that database. So I can save it on desktop with the name of database or whatever name you would like, right? And now the second step is to choose a master password, right? So I am creating one password here and repeat the password again, right? And then click on OK. Yes. Here you have to again choose one database name that in which you want to store your files. So I am uh, choosing any test database here. All right, skip. Here, now you can see when you click here in this right screen, when you right click here, you will see this point that is add entry. And when you click on this, here you can store all your passwords. If you want to save, like I want to save my uh, any account password, like my office mail, right? And let's suppose this is my office mail username, and I can choose the password accordingly and save here and click on OK. And here you can see it has saved my office mail username and the password. And if I want to save any kind of URL with that username and password, I can save it here easily. So like that, you all can save your various passwords and username and any of the websites link also here. So yeah, yes, ma'am.
That's fine, Kajal.
All
So this
right,
is
ma'am.
how the key pass can be used, and it is being secured because it is using a strong encrypted or encryption algorithms. And this will only one thing which you want to remember here is only one password for this key pass entry. Rest of the passwords will be taken care by the key pass. Only the thing is that you have to remember only one password which is being provided by you to this keypass, and you can access that keypass from your system. Could you please make me host, Kajal?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
now,
Definitely. Great.
yeah, after this, now we are going to discuss about the browser security part. Now, when I say browser security, we have few things which we need to remember. Now, as I told, when we are using browser and accessing multiple websites through that browser, there must be certain privacy settings which we have to be very careful about. So by default, there are few settings which is already been mentioned, but as per your requirement, you also have to change the privacy settings. Now we'll be talking about few privacy settings. So first I will be talking about what all privacy settings you have to do. And then again, we will be requesting Kaja to share her screen and demonstrate how you are going to change that privacy settings and all. Now the first privacy setting is basically we are talking about is telemetry. Now what is telemetry? Maybe you have heard about that. Telemetry is basically a Firefox feature which generally collects your valuable engineering data. But now, what is this engineering data? It actually talks about the browsing experience in order to make Firefox perform better for the users. So telemetry basically collects your browser data such as the performance, your hardware, usage, customizations, sessions, and all other details, right? So it basically collects this information only because to just see that how the browsing experience is going to be with this Firefox feature, so that they should actually improve Firefox experience of Firefox, your features and all. So if you want to see the telemetry data, so you can even also do that. You can even go to your settings part and simply you can type about :telemetry. So now you can see that what all data about your machine, about your browser is being stored by this Firefox. So if you want to see that, you can simply type about :telemetry, that we are going to show it to you as soon as we are going to demonstrate the concepts. And then you can simply see that what all information is being saved or stored or taken by the Firefox. Now, if you want to see the privacy settings of your Firefox, again, you can type it onto the settings part, about preferences #privacy. So this again will provide you all the preferences or the privacy settings, right? So how that is being done, that we are going to show it to you so that you can also learn how it is being done. But here with this particular slide, I only want to tell you that try to disable telemetry if you want it. And by doing that, you have to go to privacy and security, and there you will be getting this part, Firefox data collection and use. So what all data is being collected by Firefox about your browsing experience, that you can very easily check it out and you can see what all is being there. So it is by default, it's all checked. So what is being referred, that you can uncheck it so that Firefox will not be able to take any of the data of your browsing experience. If you want that, you can do it. So how that will be seeing it? The next is your content blocking, right? So if you want that the blocking of the content should be done, again, you have to go to your privacy and then there is a content blocking part that you have to just select it, right? So all these are actually being given here. You can simply go to your privacy and setting and you can simply type it about :preferences #privacy. You will get all the privacy settings. And with that, you can simply disable your content blocking for specific sites. So simply you can choose the site for which you want the content blocking has to be disabled. You can simply block that particular part. This will be seen. Then there is one more part which I want to talk about is your about config. I don't know whether you have used it or not. Simply go to Firefox and type about :config. And again, we'll be getting lot many configuration settings. Just go through each and every configuration settings and then see that what all you require and what all you want to disable. So how to do that? Simply you can say it as here, this is Firefox, we are opening it. Here I am typing about :config, and here you are going to get all the configuration settings. So here you can see status, type, and value. And based on that, you can just double click on this Boolean value and the Boolean value gets changed from false to true or from true to false, whatever you want, you can do it. And this is basically being written in your alphabetical order. So you have to go drag down and then you have to check all these various configuration settings, right? Now we have cookies also. We know that we have to clear the cookies. Now, if you want to clear the cookies for the current website, again, you can do it. You can simply go to this padlock, wherever you are typing this URL, just double click on this padlock and this particular window will get open. And here it will say, ask you about clear cookies inside data. You can just click on it and that particular cookie for this current website which you have opened is going to be cleared. Now, if you want clear for a particular website, maybe you have opened last day or maybe a few hours back, again, you have to go to privacy and setting options, go to manage data, and there you have to select that particular website, that URL, and then you have to remove the cookies for this particular website or for all the websites, right? So this is how to remove the cookies for a particular website. you're using it right now, or maybe you have used it a day before. Now, if you want to clear all the cookies, site data, and cache, again, we have an option to do that, right? So you can simply go to privacy and say security cookies part, and here you can simply clear the complete site data, complete cache, web content, and all. So this is how we are going to use the settings in Firefox. Very similarly, we have in Chrome as well. So we will be seeing that particular part in Chrome also. We have a settings part. You go on, click on settings, and when you click on settings, it will ask you about your advanced settings. Just click on that advanced settings, and then it will be asking you about the content settings and all. So here, from here, you can clear the browsing data, or you can even go to each and every statement, whatever is being written, and accordingly you can enable or disable the check boxes. This will actually modify your privacy settings, maybe enable malware protection, maybe your disable certain kind of features which are already being there into your Chrome. So let's first see how this is being done, and then we will be moving further. Let me stop sharing my screen so that we should have a proper demonstration of how it is being done. So Kajal, could you please share your screen?
Yeah,
And
sure, ma'am.
lastly, show how privacy settings is being done in Firefox and Chrome both.
All right. So participants, I have opened my Chrome Firefox browser right now. Right. So firstly, we will see how to apply privacy settings in our Firefox browser. Right. So the first privacy setting is to disable telemetry. Right. So in order to do this, all we have to go is here in the right section. You can see these three lines. Right. These three lines are basically for opening the menu. So click on that, and just a minute. Here you can see one option settings, right? So click on this options, and here in the left side you can see the privacy and the settings option. So click on that, and after that just scroll down your window a bit, and if you scroll down your window a bit, you will see the telemetry option here. That is the Firefox data collection and use, right? So here you can see various check boxes. So all we have to do is, here you can see allow Firefox to send technical and interaction data to Mozilla. So here we have to uncheck this box so that the Firefox will not be able to send all our technical data which we are actually doing on our browsers, right? And do not send that data to Mozilla browser or Mozilla server. So in order to do that, we have to uncheck this box, right? And here you can also see allow Firefox to install and run studies. So according to your convenience, you can also uncheck these boxes. Okay. So our next privacy setting is Firefox content blocking, right? So if you scroll a bit, here you will see the Firefox content blocking. So here you can see three options. First one is your standard, the second one is your strict, and the third one is your choose. So according to your convenience, you can stop other websites in order to track you. So if you choose the standards, you will see social media trackers, and you can also stop cross-site tracking cookies, and you can also stop tracking content in private windows. And so according to that you can choose, but the main recommendation that we will like to give you, that always choose this standard option, right? So let's go back to the another settings. We also have another settings in which if you want to clear any cookies and the site data for any website, so for that you can see here the option of cookie and site data, right? So you can easily check on this box, and if you want that you do not want to clear your cookies and the site data on daily basis, then you can just check on this box, and whenever you close the Firefox on daily basis, it will automatically delete your cookies. Otherwise, if you want to clear one by one data, then you can just clear from here, right? All right. All right, let's come to the another settings. So another setting is like you have to open your Firefox and type about colon and config and click on enter. So when you click on enter, you will see a message like this that proceed with caution, right? And accept the risk and continue. So in order to continue, we have to accept this blue color button and click on this. So when you click on this, you will see a screen like this, and here you can see a tab that is show all. So click on this. All right, so once I click on this, you will see numerous entries here, and you can just read it here, right? And if you want to change the data, that is, you want to change something like from false to true, you can do it with the help of this toggle button. If I click on this, it will automatically be enable and it will automatically be true, right? So here you can see so many entries, so one by one you can read, and according to your convenience and accordingly that what data you want to share with your browser, you can easily change these values, right? All right, so let's go back to another settings. All right, so let me share my Chrome browser and show you. All right, so this is my Chrome browser. So let's see the privacy settings for Chrome also. All right, so to go into the privacy settings, we have to click here, the three dots here you can see. If I click on here, yeah, if I click on here, you can see one setting option. So click on the setting option. Okay, it's opening. Yeah, when you click on the setting option, right, click on the privacy and settings. Here you can see you can clear your browsing data, you can clear your cookie data from here, and if I click on this, you can also see various options like block third party cookies in incognito window, and block third party cookies other also, and block all cookies. So in this way you can block cookies, right? If I go back, all right, yeah. So if I go back and just scroll down a bit, you will see one option that is advanced. I have to click on the advanced option, and here you will see various other I can say that settings option. So according to your preferences, you all can use these options and use it for the privacy settings.
It's fine, Kajal. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now, there are multiple websites which we are trying to use it, and we are opening it on the browsers. Now, there are few websites which maybe we are not clear with whether that is actually the right ones or not, whether we should open it or not. So in that case, what we have to do, we have to check whether that website is genuine or not. To check that website is genuine or not, a very easy part is that you have to take a website reputation checker to check whether that website is actually having no malicious content into it. For that, there is one of the website known as urlvoid.com. Now it actually blacklists the features if it has any malicious content into it. It also provides you a safety report and all. So this is a free website reputation checker tool which helps you to scan a website and tells you or detects the various fraudulent and malicious content if it's present into it. Now, how to do that? Simply you have to open Google and type URL void. The first link which you are going to get will be urlvoid.com. Just click on that. And now this is the home page of urlvoid.com. Now this is a website reputation checker. You can just provide any of the URL which you want to check whether it is genuine or not, and simply click on that scan website. So for example, if I put www.amazon.in and scan the website, it is going to provide me the details about that particular website. Now, while seeing the details, maybe you come to know, you can get an idea that whether this particular website is existing or not, and how many last when it was being built, when the domain was being registered, what is the IP address and all that information. So if you feel that yes, this is a particular website which has certain data into it, then it is going to help you out to whether go forward or not, whether you should provide your data into it or not. Right? Another tool which, or another website which helps you to do that is Nibbler. Now, Nibbler is again a free tool for testing websites. Now, this actually gives you the report of that particular website, which you check it through Nibbler in the form of your scoring. That means out of 10, it provides the scoring of a particular website, right? In with multiple parameters or with multiple features. If you want to use it, then please go to this particular URL, nibbler.silktide.com, or simply you can go to Google and type Nibbler. Once you type Nibbler, the first link which you are going to get it is nibbler.silktide.com. Just click onto it, and this is going to be the web home page which it will open. So now you can test any of the website here. If you feel that this is a particular website which may be a genuine one or not, you just take the URL of that, just type it here and click on that test button. So for example, if I'm going to put it amazon.in again and then click on that test, it is going to provide me the scoring of that particular website out of 10. It provides me a lot many other information. So this is only the screenshot which I'm going to show it to you. But once you scroll down, there are a lot many information about this particular website you are going to get it. And from this, you can just come to know about the website, whether it is genuine one or not. To this, there are few browser extensions also which help you out to prevent yourself online. Now there are multiple browser extensions, but we are going to refer only those which are actually reliable and which is protecting your data and your online activity. So here I'm going to talk about the 4 browser extensions. One is your HTTPS everywhere. Second is web secure browser protection. Third is your AdBlock Plus, and fourth is NetWrap. When I say HTTPS everywhere, as we all know, HTTPS is basically a website protocol which ensures that a site is going to be secure, right? So in place of HTTP, the website should have protocol as HTTPS. Now, this HTTPS everywhere browser extension, if you are trying to use it, then it will ensure that the communication or the conversation which is being there from the browser server is going to be encrypted, right? Now, if you are going to open a particular website which has protocol as HTTP and HTTPS everywhere browser extension is present, then this HTTPS everywhere will ensure that the communication should be passed on from HTTP to HTTPS. Now, when I'm saying passing on from HTTP to HTTPS, that means that all the communication will only be passing through HTTPS when that particular website supports HTTPS protocol. So that is one thing which we need to remember. It will not create HTTPS, but if a website has or supports both the protocols, HTTP and HTTPS, then definitely if you have a browser extension as HTTPS, it is going to transfer the communication from your HTTP to HTTPS, that means in an encrypted manner. And this is again making you or protecting your online activities. Then we have AdBlock Plus. It basically blocks certain scripts and unwanted advertisements. Sometimes what happens when we are accessing some of the websites, some unwanted advertisements are actually coming. Now, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, we are clicking on any of the advertisement, which actually leads to a malicious content or a malware coming or downloading to my machine without my knowledge. So in that case, if I want to avoid that, we could have a particular browser extension known as AdBlock Plus. This helped me to avoid these advertisements coming when we are accessing the website. Then we have Netcraft. This is again one of the another browser extension, a very good browser extension, which basically helped me to easily look up of the information which is relating to a particular website which we are visiting. And it also ensures that if there is any malicious content into that particular website, it will not allow me to open that website there itself. So again, it is going to protect ourselves. So it basically talks about your browsing, your phishing websites. It will block your JavaScript kind of your cross-site scripting type of malware or attacks. It will prevent. So it is again having or providing you a lot of protection. Let's see about all the four very fastly. I hope I'm having 5 to 10 minutes, Jagdish sir. Shall we proceed?
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay, thanks a lot. So let me stop sharing my screen. May I request Kajal to please share her screen and show how it is being used. So very fast, Kajal, please explain all the four browser extensions so that we can move further.
All right, sure, ma'am.
Kajal, can you start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So our first browser extension is HTTPS everywhere. So when you search HTTPS everywhere, you will see a result like this. You have to click on HTTPS everywhere, this link. And when you click on this, it will show a screen like this. It is giving me the response of add to Chrome. So I have to click on add to Chrome. All right. When I click on add to Chrome, it is asking me to add extension. So click on add extension. All right. You can easily see our HTTPS extension is now added in our browser, right? So whenever I visit any of the website, like any website, it will automatically secure my search, right? So in this way, we can add the extension, right? And if I talk about next extension, we have, let me search here. We have web securer browser. Here you can see web securer browser protection. All right, when I click on this add to Chrome and add extension, so here you can see it has already added in my browser, and whenever I search for any of the website, right, it will automatically tell me that whether that website is actually secure or not. And here you can see the protection is on and the site is safe. So whenever the next time I search for any of the website, it will automatically give me the protection from the malware and any kind of phishing attacks. All right, so next we have the ad block plus. Here you can see the adblock plus browser. It basically blocks, we almost see various pop-ups and the malicious advertisements. I'll search again here one more time. ad block plus. All right, here you can see the ad blocks plus. So we almost see so many malicious advertisements on our daily basis. So it will basically block all that malicious advertisements automatically, right? So I think it's taking some time. All right. See, it is added in my browser, right? So here we can see it has added the ad block plus. It has already added the HTTPS everywhere and the web secure browser. All right. So the next time when I visit any of the website, it will not give us the various malicious advertisements, right? So next extension we have Netcraft. All right, here you can see Netcraft extension. Add extension. All right, it is added. Let's see this. Let me visit any of the website. All right, let me visit any website. Let's visit to Gmail. All right, when I visit that Gmail, all right, and click here in the Netcraft extension, you can see the website name mail.google.com, and it is showing the risk rating is 0. If the website has any risk or malicious content in it, then it will show some kind of risk rating. But in my case, it is showing that the risk rating is 0. That means the website is properly secure, and the country from which the website is US, first seen, and other information, right? So here if you want to see more information about that website, you can click on the site report and can see various other technical information related to that website, right? So here you can see various information related to that gmail.com, its network information, network owner, just a minute, yeah, network blocker, hosting company, hosting country, the IP address also we can see, right? So in this way, we can see we mostly receive various emails and various links, right, on daily basis. So before clicking on that links and website, firstly we go to through that extensions like Netcraft and check whether the website is actually secure or not. All right, ma'am. Neha, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you, Bharat.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, Neha ma'am, 1 minute, madam. Dear sirs and madams, please excuse us since these sessions are very useful. With your kind permission, we were continuing. And if there are anything, kindly let us know in the chat box so that we will take it up whether to stop the session or continue the session. I think Neha ma'am, how much time do we require, ma'am, to close
So I
this
was
session?
planning to discuss your email security, email tracer, and then a few open source tools just to know about our email security, privacy, and all. So hardly I think I will be requiring another 15 minutes to complete, if you allow me to go.
Yes, ma'am. I think all the officers, please tell us, sir. Okay, okay. Some sirs were telling, sirs and madams, please continue. So, with your kind permission, we are continuing this session for another 15 minutes, and exactly by 1 o'clock, we will close the session. Thank you so much for your kind support, sirs and madams. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. So now after browser extensions, we have email security. So let's move to email security now. What is email security? We know that we all are getting emails and all. And in that email again, there are few malwares which may come to our machines. If I'm opening the emails on our mobile phones, again the malwares can come to our mobile phones and can have a spy on the content which we are sharing. Maybe those malwares can hit to the contact list, may hit to the photos, images and all. So in that case, there are few things which may be considered as email threats to us. Now, what are those? One is your malicious attachments. So if you're opening the attachments on your desktop, maybe on your mobile phones, again, that malware can enter into your machines or mobile phones. Double extensions, if you are getting any of the attachment with double extensions, again, that can be an email threat to us. You can also get certain fake emails and phishing emails, right? Now, to just go through that whether the email which we have received is going to be a genuine one, should not have any malicious content into it. That again, email for identifying that really it's difficult. Only the thing what we need to take care of that attachments when we are opening, that we should open it very safely. Our operating system should be updated. Our anti-malware should be there. Your antivirus should be there. So all those things definitely should be on place. Then only it should detect whether there is a malware on the attachment or not. If there is a double extension, don't open that particular attachment, because if that is going to be there, then definitely it may harm our system. There are few tools which help us to do that, to identify that. There is one, your virus total, which helps me to identify whether it is having a malicious content into the attachment or not. So I can just provide that attachment, that file to virus total, you can identify that. Other than that, we have hybrid analysis. That is again one of the website which accepts the attachment, the file, and then tell us whether this has a malicious content into it or not. So with the help of Aristotle, hybrid analysis, and few other tools are there, which help us to just see, just tell us whether that attachment is malicious or not. But still after that also we have to just see that the email which we are receiving it, from where we have received, if we are having a doubt on that particular email. For that, we have one particular tool created by CRAC is Email Tracer. So Email Tracer is basically a tool to track your email sender's identity. It analyzes the email header and provides you the complete details about the sender. That means the IP address of the machine and the mail server, the details of the service provider, and all those things. But only one thing which we need to remember it, that it only traces up to ISP level. After that, it actually comes to the cyber forensic team, and then it actually deals with that particular email details and all. Now, how to access that email tracer? I'm just showing you the steps. It's very easy. If you face any problem, just let us know. Again, we can have the demonstration of the same. So you have to simply open email tracer on web browser. On Google, you can simply type email tracer. You'll be getting the link about that particular email tracer. Then you can just open your Gmail for a particular email which you want to know. For that, you have to just click on that email. For example, this is the email which I want to test. I want to check from where I have received that. Again, when you are going to click on that and just click on that three dots on the corner right hand side, you will be seeing one option there known as Show Original. Just click on that Show Original button. Now, this Show Original will provide you the complete header of that email, right? So what you are seeing on the email by default is to, from, CC, BCC, subject, and all those things. But there is much more than that particular email, and that is what is known as the header of the email. So Show Original will provide you the complete email header. Now, once you get that complete header, you will also be getting one particular button on the right hand side is your blue button, and where it has been written copy to clipboard. Now, this copy to clipboard will copy, once you click on this particular button, it will copy the complete header details and into the clipboard. And now what you have to do, you have to open that email tracer. So this is an email tracer, how it looks like. As I told, this is the product of CDAC itself. So just paste it here, whatever you have copied to clipboard. So just right click on it, paste it here, and then click on start tracing. Now, when you click on this start tracing button, so this is the header which we have copied, trace email sender. And now when you click onto it, it will take a little bit time, will trace it and provide you the complete details about that particular email. So the mail appears to be originated from this particular IP address. This is the information about the ISP, the contact number, the country, and all those things. So it basically tells you the information about the ISP level. From here, you can just come to know that from where you have received this particular email. And it also tells you the complete hierarchy of the communication which has been occurred, that from where it has been originated, from how many IP addresses it has been passed on, and then it has reached to your email or to your system. So it also provides you the complete hierarchy of that particular email. That is the path of that particular email, that how it has been reached to your machine. So this is how email be used. There are few more open source tools which I want to talk about here. Number one is your Google Safe Browsing. Now, this Google Safe Browsing is basically one of the feature of Google which provides you to discover the unsafe site. So other than that URL void and all, Google Safe Browsing is again a very nice feature of Google, which actually you can identify, you can get it by simply typing onto Google as Google Safe Browsing, or you can also type transparency report of Google. So once you are going to type that, this is how you will see that Google Safe Browsing. Just you can put it here, the URL which you want to check it. For example, if I put it cdac.in, and it is going to just provide you the detail about that website, whether it is genuine or not. So it will say no unsafe content found. So if you are getting this kind of message, it means that this is a site which is having no malicious content, and you can simply go to it. You can provide your details to this particular website. You can access this website. But in some of the cases, for example, if I'm going to put this of the IP address to this Google transparency report, it will say no available data. If you are getting this kind of message, then there is something fishy about it. The site has no data in Google database, and which actually gives you a doubt whether you have to go to this particular website or not. So here I have only typed the IP address of one of my server which we have created, but it can be any of the URL where you can get this kind of status. And if it is giving this kind of status, then definitely you have to be alert out of that. Then there is one more feature which is basically being good one, known as Have I Been Pawned? So this is again one of the website which actually search across multiple data breaches and tell you whether the email address of yours has been or not. So you can simply open Have I Been Pawned, type it on Google. Here you will be getting haveibeenpawned.com. Simply go to email address, write it down here, your email address, whatever you want to check it, and just click on this pawned button. Now, if you click on this pawned button by providing any of the email address, it may provide you the reply that, oh no, it's pawned. That means it has been pawned on, or it has been breached. Where it has been breached, what sites it has been breached, on what date it has been breached, that also information it is going to provide you. So when you scroll down, it is going to provide you the complete details about the email, and again you have to go through it, you have to change the password, and if possible, try to use your emails, official and your personal separately. So this will help you out that your data which is sensitive, your organization data, your organizational email should not be breached. So this is one thing which will help you out to just identify whether the email which you are using has been breached till date or not, and if it is being breached, from which site and on which date. One more which I want to talk to you is known as URL expander. This is basically checking the shortened URL. So we all have experienced a lot of times that we are getting the URL in shortened manner, maybe bit.ly type of links or maybe such kind of links which you may be getting as a part of a link, as a part of the email, or maybe as a part of an SMS in your mobile phones. So they may say that please click on this particular link if you want to avail this facility, or maybe discounts are going on, just click on this particular link and such kind of thing there. Then that links are basically your shortened links. Now, if you want to check that this shortened link belongs to which URL, then there is a good site known as checkshorturl.com. Now, when you click on this checkshort URL, this is a website which it will open for you. And here you have to just copy that short URL. So it can be any shortening URL, maybe Google, Bit.ly, Amazon, tiny URL. So it will support maximum all kinds of your shortening URLs. You provide it here, click on that expand button. Now, when I click on one of the Bit.ly link I have taken it, which was there, came to me through one mail. I've copied it here, click on that expand button. It will take certain time to analyze and then it will give me the result in such a manner. It says that this is a Bit.ly link which has been linked to this particular original URL. So if there is a doubt on a Bit.ly link, you just check it with this short URL, check that which particular URL it belongs to, and then only if you feel that yes, you have to click onto it, then only click it, else you just leave it this path. So this is how check short URL is going to be. Now the last part which I'm going to talk about is mobile and mobile app security. So as we all know that we all are using smartphones and all, and we all are doing a lot of activities on mobile phones, right? Using the internet, maybe online shopping, online banking, and not many other things. And we're also performing the functionality of your camera, calculator, barcode reader, and many other things. I have seen that this is the latest report which I have taken it, that where you are getting smartphone users in India regularly increasing, mobile internet users in India is again regularly increasing. So we have a need now, very strong need, to actually use the privacy configurations in the Android phones or in any of the mobile phones. So what all privacy settings or what all privacy configurations we have to take, that we are going to discuss. So I will not be talking about the theoretical part about what all is. Let's see what all we can do it through demonstration. So because this will maybe helpful to you all. So this we are going to discuss how we can disable the cloud-based backup, how we can use the screen lock, how advertising tracking can be opt out, so we can close that, how location history is going to be closed or disabled, how device erase function can be used, and how the lock screen notification can be done. So this all we are going to see, and then with this we'll try to finish it off fastly. So let me stop sharing my screen. We will Kajal, could you able to show this or
No, ma'am, I won't be able to show this
okay,
because it's in
you cannot do it? Okay.
Yes.
So let me just talk about it because I'm going to share this PPT with you all. So definitely all those part is being written here, that how we are going to go to settings, and then we will go to security part, and then we will be going to the next particular option. So options will help you out to prevent your unauthorized apps from installing, using certain privacy security settings, and will help you out how it is going to make your online experience secure and better. So in that case, let's move to the safety measures to protect your mobile phones. So here, this is one of the poster which is being created under IC only, where it's being said that always try to enable auto lock, record your phone's unique ID number, make sure you log off from banking and other important apps, consider tracking your softwares, regularly back up your mobile phone, try to locate your phone via GPS. Don't forget to remotely lock your phone and change your important passwords. So all these settings is being mentioned here one by one, and that step by step is being mentioned. I will be sharing this with which will help you out to simplify the part. So finally, we should move to the last part of prevention tips. So that is what we have discussed. Try not to open email attachments with the file extensions such as VBS, SSH, PIF, etc. Don't try to open attachments which have double extensions. Never open web links in your email. Always try to type the links in web browser. Always check for the spelling mistakes, because those spelling mistakes may lead to your phishing emails, fake URLs and all. Try not to respond to spam mails. I think everyone is clear with this and they know about it. Try to always clear your cookies and do that privacy settings what we have discussed. Always try to turn off all your JavaScript or Active Export in your web browser. So we have one setting in Chrome and Firefox related to this particular JavaScript or ActiveX features also. Try to turn off that always. Always try to use secured web browsers, and always try to clear your browsing activity on regular basis. If you're not able to clear it, then make it as a privacy setting that after this particular number of days, it should automatically be cleared. And always try to use HTTPS and padlock icon whenever you are opening a browser and accessing a particular website. So with this, I must say thank you to you all. Stay safe, stay secure, and try to follow all these privacy settings, security guidelines which we have discussed. So once again, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful and enlightening session. It was a wonderful session, I think, which everyone has to know about these settings. And DSS, like, we will be having one or two questions. Later, I have few announcements for the afternoon session. Later, we can break for the lunch. Okay, madam, like a few questions with regard to the key pass which we are using. Is they were asking, like, is it a free open source software or not?
Yes, sir. It's free open source software, as that is what we have shown you. You can simply download it from Google. And
okay.
Algorithm it was.
Okay, can password be auto saved in KeePass like Google? Next question, mom. By default, like, these passwords are saved in KeePass like Google, or like they have to add it manually?
No, we have added manually, and we have the option of automatically saving also. But I will suggest don't opt for that particular option. You do it on your own manually, so that once you are putting it, it is going to be saved. But
okay,
all the options.
Okay, mom. Is this ePass store password in a clear text or in an encrypted format?
Format, sir. It follows your SHA algorithm, two-fish algorithm, and all. It's purely in encrypted manner. If you forget that one password of your key pass, even you cannot access your password. So that is also one thing that you need to remember. So it's very much strong and secure.
Okay, okay, ma'am. And they were asking, like, when we are using the HTTPS plugin, and how is it different from the digital certificate? By clicking on the digital certificate, we know, like, whether it is a genuine website, legitimate website, or a fishy website kind of thing. Like, how is it different, ma'am? That was the question.
So guys, clicking on the digital certificate, you will only be able to know about that particular website certificate, who has issued the certificate to that particular website, or what is the date when it was being issued, and all those things. When we are talking about HTTPS everywhere, this is a browser extension which allows you to communicate from your client to the server in an encrypted manner if you are using that particular website with HTTP protocol and it is supporting HTTPS. So it automatically converts your HTTP protocol to HTTPS if that particular website supports HTTPS. So that is entirely different from your getting the information from digital certificate.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And next question, ma'am, whether this reputation checker itself is certified internationally, and how to rely on these or any other open source tools or free tools?
So actually provided by Mozilla or any such kind of organizations, and we are seeing and reading multiple reports generated by many top class organizations which are saying that these are reliable. So that's why we are actually providing these in your awareness sessions and all.
Okay, excellent, ma'am. And one more question, like Edge blocks ads by default. Do we need need to add another extension like this?
Extension, sir, I'm able to hear.
No, ad blocker we were talking about. That
Right.
Edge blocks its ads by default. Edge browser blocks its ads by default. Do we
Yes.
need to add another extension like this?
No need for that in Edge because it automatically does that.
Okay, all right, sir. All right, ma'am. Fine. I think these are the some questions. Okay. What about the authenticity of the extensions we have shown?
That is what I'm saying, sir. That these are the extensions which is being provided by either Google or Mozilla organizations, and we have gone through multiple reports of various organizations, which are top class organizations, creating their reports every quarterly, and they are saying that these are actually reliable, have been found reliable. So that's why we are actually giving these things, discussing these things in awareness workshop.
Okay, ma'am. Which browser is more secure?
So if anyone asks from me, definitely I'm going to say Firefox with multiple privacy browser settings, because Firefox is one of the browser which provides us the flexibility as a user to secure it. So there are multiple features of privacy secure settings which we can do it at our own. So if you know about privacy settings and all, if you are using it properly, then I prefer Firefox to be used. Other than that, we have many other. We can use your what we can say Edge or any other kind of. We have so many kind of browser, but only remember is your privacy settings which you have to provide. If that is you are doing it properly, then definitely you are going to be secure.
Okay, excellent, ma'am. How do you secure my Pound email? Have
I been Pond is basically one of the website which provides you the information about your email, whether it has been breached or not, whether it has been pawned or not. Once it tells that it has been pawned and where it has been pawned, now you have to see that whether that particular email is having your password changed from that particular time or not. So try to change the password of that email very frequently, and if you have not done it, please do it at the earliest, because once it has been breached, that means the content that particular email has been breached. So now what is the next step you have to do? If that is not important, leave it, don't use it. Or if it is important, try to first change the password, make a strong password, keep a strong password of that email, and then try to use it. And one thing more I would tell it here, that there is one feature of creating the emails with temporary email. So there is one temporary email also which you can create it. So once you are downloading something, and then also they are asking you to please provide your email. So wherever you want, or wherever you feel that your official or your personal email should not fit into, then always try to use temporary emails for that. You can simply type on Google temp mail. The first, second, third, whatever the first few links you'll be getting is basically of temporary emails to generate. You can simply generate a temporary email, and that works exactly like your email. You can provide that temporary email to these various websites, which is asking your email ID only for once, and then you work accordingly. So don't disclose your personal emails and your official emails in such kind of websites while doing online activity. So that is one thing which I can suggest you all.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I think there are questions related to the DuckDuckGo and Tor browser. Of course, like we want, we will, those things we will discuss later parts, sir, but we don't have any time right now. And another thing, like, can any breach of email ID, email by a government agency, be also detected by the tools referred in the presentation? Can any breach of email by a government agency?
The email tracer is actually being used by mainly cyber forensic teams. So they can only, yes, as we come to know that there are cyber forensic team members who are actually using this email tracer and trying to find it out that is there any email which has actually been come to the user for malware purpose or for malicious purpose and all. So it is able to identify that, but whether it is a government email or not, I'm not aware of it right now.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for patiently answering all the questions. So once again, heartfully we thank for your wonderful and enlightening session. And at the same time, we also thank all the officers who are patiently listening beyond the time which we are set. Of course, like we know, like we are running out of time. I'll just have few announcements. So I just thank once again Dr. Neha Bajpai, ma'am, and Kajal Kashyap for their wonderful session and hands-on sessions, on various aspects like password, data security, browser security, email security, and mobile security. So once again, we thank you, madam, and thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
And all the officers, like, may I request, like, the next session is going to start exactly by 2:30, and the session window will open by again 2 o'clock. Or like we will keep the session continuously on, and if any of you wanted to disconnect and connect, you can connect. And the second session is going to start exactly by 2:30, and 2:30 to 3:30 we will be having like whatever madam has discussed as of now. So those things, like we will be having, social engineering techniques, and last session, and we will be having a session on social networking and financial security. Okay, so these are the sessions which are lined up for you, in the second half of the day. So we request all the officers kindly join back the session exactly by 2 to 2:15, and we will start the second, next session exactly by 2:30. And I request all the officers, if you have any questions, kindly note it down in the chat box or in the question and A, so that by end of the each session, we will take some of the questions and we'll try to respond. And if the questions are not respond, please don't hesitate. You always keep us, send all your doubts at isa@cdap.in. Okay, and we will respond. Of course, like what are the questions which are not responded here, we will try to identify your email ID from our, from the email which you have provided, and we will try to address all the questions. And by end of the in the last session, we are going to talk about the certification and e-learning modules which are lined up for you. Okay, so with that, like, we will close this session, and we will the next session we are going to start exactly by 2:30. And the room, this WebEx link will be open from 2 o'clock onwards. And otherwise also, I'm not going to close this session now, and it will be continued. Like whoever wanted to continue can continue. And if you have any doubts, you can just keep all your doubts here, so that we will try to address as many as possible. So once again, we thank CHAS Murthy sir and Dr. Neha Bajpai ma'am and Kajal Kashyap for their wonderful and enlightening sessions, of the day. All right, thank you, and we will catch you exactly by 2:30, sir. Thank you, sir. Sometimes.